For so long, I have wondered if I was cursed or something. Why do I always fail? Why am I never good enough? My name is Favour. How ironic. I am 33 and my life has been a struggle. I can't mention one area where I have not met with disappointment, rejection, or hardship. Let me start from my childhood so that you can understand. I grew up in my village in the southeast of Nigeria. I am the firstborn of my parents, a position we call Ada in Igbo. I always felt the weight of responsibility for my 4 siblings, 1 boy immediately after me and 3 girls after him. My parents did not have much, but there was love in our family. My father was a farmer and my mother was a tailor all through my growing years. With their meager income, getting us through secondary school was all they could really do. Even that was a struggle, but we attended government schools. I struggled with my academics all through school. I failed my WAEC exams, and as far as I was concerned, tertiary education was not for people like me anyway. Moreover, I needed to help my parents financially so that they could train the others. At least, my brother, who was 3 years younger than me, seemed to be doing better academically. It became my priority to find a way to make money. I could sew from years of helping my mother with her work. So I left my hometown after about a year and went to Aba. I found a job with a man who sold clothes in bulk for resale in Lagos. The job came with accommodation and 1 meal a day. I felt like luck was finally smiling on me. I had worked there for about 4 months when some of my co-workers colluded to steal from our boss. He believed that I knew about it, and he eventually fired me. I was lucky that he decided against calling the police because there would have been no one to help me. My boss was well known in the market, and the news spread very fast, so no one hired me. I decided to go to Lagos with a woman I met who was an agent for domestic helps. I was 22 when I left the East for the first time in my life. I worked in about 3 homes within 1 year. In the first home, I stayed 2 weeks before my madam said I was too local for our home. I could not use any of the gadgets in the house and I could not cook any of the meals they ate, so she sent me back. The second home was with an Igbo woman who was married to a Yoruba man. She took a liking to me, but I only stayed a month before her husband began to make passes at me and touch me inappropriately when she was not around. She was surprised when I told her that I wanted to leave and did not give her any reason. In the third home, things were going well, even though the madam was quite harsh. I was coping, but I had only stayed about 3 months when her husband was transferred outside Nigeria and the family relocated. The woman who brought me to Lagos said I might be a better fit for working in a canteen or a bar, and she got me a job in a pepper soup joint that operated in the evenings. It also came with accommodation and 2 meals a day, but I soon found out that it was a glorified brothel, and the woman who owned the place planned to pimp us out to her male customers. Leaving that place was an escape. I managed to run away one afternoon. I could not go back to the woman who got me the job because I knew she would take me back there. I had nowhere to go, so I walked into a small church and told the pastor my story. He was very skeptical about letting me stay because, according to him, they had once harbored someone who organized people to rob the church one night. He eventually allowed me to stay in the security house where there was an extra room. The next day, I met his wife and she asked me what skills I had. In the course of discussion, she found out I could make hair with thread, and that's how she started introducing me to people. and I started making a little money. I also assisted in maintaining the church environment. I had some relief for about 8 months when I got into another situation. One of the church members, who is also from the East, took an interest in me. Apart from the pastor and his wife, this was the first time anybody had actually shown me any love. I was enticed by his attention. He asked me not to mention anything to the pastor or his wife yet because they may not agree, as they may think I was not good enough for him and he wanted to protect me. I believed him because I felt I really was beneath him and I was grateful to him for picking me. I got pregnant and the whole situation went awry. His side of the story was that I seduced him, but it did not matter because the church wanted us both out. Despite his lies, I moved in with him because I had nowhere else to go. I stayed in his house for 6 years and had 3 children. He did not let me work and I had nothing to my name. My life was hell. He beat me often and brought in women as he pleased. I could not even communicate with my family during those years because he would not let me use the phone. I was like a slave in that home, and I even felt too ashamed to tell anyone around because I believed I deserved everything I was getting. He eventually abandoned me and the children 2 years ago, and I did not realize for almost 1 week because he often left without saying anything. When food ran out and I tried to reach him, he told me to find my way because he was not coming back. I begged some neighbors for money and I called my parents. They were relieved to hear from me because they had given up after years of having no news. When they heard what happened to me, they asked me to come back to the village, and so I did. My younger brother was trading with a man from our village. 2 of my younger sisters were married, while the last one was in university, sponsored by a combination of funds from all my siblings and my parents. My brother's boss has now set him up in business, and my youngest sister has almost graduated. I, who should be the light bearer of the family as the firstborn, am the one whose life is nothing to write home about. I'd like to hear your thoughts about Favour's situation in the comments. Remember to subscribe to my channel and to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos.